lobbies.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like I feel so. I don't know how the community feels, and this isn't. And I just want to like preface this with this is not something trying to take away from Jerk. This is just a like keeping track of record purposes. If a lobby's starting with 40 to 50 more players than the other lobby, what? So I feel like you almost have to separate them. I don't want to say like put an asterisk on it, but you separate it like we got an EU record, we got an NA record. I think it's a record per server until all the servers are queuing together, or not queuing together, but queuing with the same amount of starting players.
Yep. Symphony's
so-
unbanned.
He's unbanned.
Symphony's unbanned. Okay,
Symphony's unbanned.
cool. We're actually gonna get to something on that in a second here. I heard that. Let's see here. We're gonna skip through those two. So is this true? Did somebody said that Splint's now playing for EO?
They actually posted
True?
it. Yeah, how he,
True?
How he
Yeah.
posted it.
True.
How he posted it
Cool.
on Twitter.
Cool. Well, congratulations to Splint.
Spot.
Inky spot. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
There we are.
Congratulations.
What, so
I'm
Jerk
cheating and I didn't get manned. Solid. Way to go, Crunch. We're proud of you. Tino is super quiet. Here, I can turn Tino up.
No, it's not. I think he's just.
You are quieter than Sweater in
Am
my
I?
headset,
Oh, okay.
so let me crank you up a little bit. So, where did it go? I had to click out of it. So, congratulations to Splint on going over there. That's a solid pickup for EO. I mean, obviously, those guys have been dominant when we were doing the TA tournaments and everything. We haven't got to see them. I haven't seen too much of them in Z2, but I think it's because we haven't had the whitelist servers, so we just haven't seen them. I'm hoping maybe they can find one of the days, or maybe I can change the schedule one of the days to accommodate them on a weekend. Maybe I can start at like noon or something like that, and maybe we can get EO in on some of the scrims.
That'd be fun. I saw Howie in the
Be
the
dope,
last 2-3 games of last day's scrims.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool to get them over here and see how they're doing, because I haven't got to play with them on Z2 at all. So
a pretty
let's go
monster
through
team,
these.
dude. It's gonna be
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, that's a crazy team. So let's cover this one. I know, Sweater, you haven't looked into it too much. I wanted to comment on it. I don't know if you do, Tino, but the Doc call out, the Dr. Disrespect call out that happened. I don't feel it was handled in the right manner. It was handled in the Doc style, but I don't feel it was the right way to go about it, because it basically the way it read to me, and this is just me personally, I don't know if you guys agree, but the way it came across to me was he basically said, well, Visions isn't dropping 30 bombs, and Visions is one of the best players, and he's a top tier talent, and he's not dropping 30 bombs, so to me it felt like he was basically discrediting anybody that was dropping 30s. So to me, it felt like he was calling out Storm, T-Hump, Symphony, Linden, any of those guys that have hit a 30 or higher. It felt like he was calling them out. And I don't think that was the right way to go about it. And the witch hunt is what people have been calling it on Twitter is correct. There's a lot of players getting hate from Doc's viewers for no reason.
Yeah.
That are getting ripped
I saw it
apart.
earlier.
So,
People are
I
saying
just
if
want to
you
say that
go
I
on
think it
Twitter,
should have been
though-
handled differently, and that's gonna basically you got
if you go on
something.
Twitter though, but like people are talking about how it's a PR stunt, something like to make him grow even more, you know. So that's what people feel like. It's either like the way, like the reason that he handled that matter was to, like grow or get more people to like kind of like go to his channel or check him out, which is it's a possibility.
I'm not sure if that's what it was for, but that's all I wanted to say on it. I just felt that it could have been handled better in a way that you weren't causing drama in the community. Just, I mean, if you want to sit there and you want to call people out, step up and call them out.
I
End of
guess so.
story. That's just how I feel on it. Cool. And moving on. Players Union. Has anybody seen this? Sweater, Tino, have you guys seen this thing? The H1
Gotcha.
Players Union suggestion.
Yeah,
Got the
yeah.
gist of it a little bit.
A little
Out
sketchy.
of left field. Not like sketchy, it's just
I don't. I'm
Unnecessary?
interested to see what
Yeah.
the chat feels on this and the people that have seen it. I feel like it's way too soon, because it talks about at one point like making sure that there's fair compensation and things like this, and you're talking about actual like union stuff like that would overlook things like contracts and stuff like that would happen with orgs coming in. We don't even have an established esports schedule yet.
Yeah.
Like, it's already iffy, and a lot of these orgs are rolling the dice and taking a chance coming into this game. I don't want a players union to come in and just scare every org out of the game before it even takes off. I think it's way too soon.
Yeah, we got half the community not even convinced that there's an esports community within H1, and yet we have a players union already introducing themselves. It's just weird.
It talks about other things where it says, like, bringing us together so that we can talk about things as a whole. Like, we'll have, like, call it like a town hall meeting or whatever you want to call it, and we'd figure out what we like and don't like and organized feedback, and then they created a survey. But the survey, to me, is 100% negative biased. It only covers topics that we are going to negatively respond to. It only covers things that we've already said that we don't like, which doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't give enough information back to Daybreak to actually get anything through. Like, there needs to be something like, hey, we don't like this, we really like this, how do we get this to feel more like that? Like, there needs to be balance on both sides. Yeah, it needs to be balanced, and it's 100% negative bias, like, right now. It's one-sided entirely. Yeah, go ahead and link it, Bria. Link it in the, if you can link that, I'd appreciate it.
And there isn't an announced owner of the Twitter.
Yeah, they basically did it in the same way that kind of Doc did call out a name. This person basically did it and then said, well, I don't know if you guys are going to like this idea, so I'm not going to mention my name.
Yeah.
Which makes it hard to have a conversation with the person and go, like, hey, maybe you should change this, or how do you feel about this? And, like, I don't know, because with stuff like that, I like to have, like, an actual conversation, kind of like we are here, and we're talking somewhat face-to-face, but, like...
Yeah, and how are you to be convincing if no one knows who you are? Like, you have specific names in the community that have sway, like, that are intelligent, so on and so forth, and if we don't know who you are, you're just another Twitter account with 50 followers trying to do something that's completely irrelevant right now. It's way too early for this, so... I don't know who you are, but...
yeah,
weird.
I don't know. I think that it's a overall bad idea. I think that we can do things with, like, surveys and stuff like that. I think there's a way that we could probably do that. I know me and you, or the three of us, talked a little bit yesterday about possibly doing that going forward. We're going to be working on a website, which if we're doing that, and we have the forums there where we can actually have the conversations there and have some actual, like, non-Reddit flame war conversations about stuff. We might just host them there, host some of the surveys. So we might be building some surveys here coming up with both sides, and posting whatever results. We'll post the results as well so that they're visible.
Pretty solid.
Too soon? All right. Cool. That basically covers that. I just think it's too soon. I think that it's not thought out well enough yet, and need to go on. I'm actually going to skip over. We're just going to knock out the scrims because the sweater post is going to be like the majority of this, so we're just going to knock out the scrims and get that done. So we basically, a lot of people had stepped out of the scrims that were running the scrims. I stepped in, moved it over. We just call it the chicken dinner scrims just because it's associated. I moved it over onto my server so that I could organize it all. Ton of people have been showing up. It's been really a huge show up the past few days. I mean, we've had as many as 40 people in the queue room. I started with 12 rooms the other night, and they were all 100% full. I created another 8 rooms, and all 20 of them were full. So I'm still probably going to have to add more rooms to the Discord.
Hopefully.
I hope so. I mean, it's been going really good. I've been having a ton of fun with them. I think it's been going. I know Revenge has been having a blast with them. A lot of people have been reaching out to me saying that they've been enjoying them. So we're going to keep running those. I would like to get some feedback, though, in terms of the schedules. I do not want to run more than 4 days a week just because I don't want everybody to burn out. But is the 4 to 8 schedule working for people? And on the weekends, do you guys prefer the 2 to 8 that I did, or would you prefer it to still be 4 to 8?
Do you want people to directly answer that in chat?
You can directly answer it in chat. We can create a survey if the chat feels it's better with the survey. You guys can send messages to the Twitter account. I'll see them there. Whatever your suggestions. If you guys have suggestions, please reach out to me. I know people have been going and reaching out to other people and that know me and sending them that way to get to me, or sending them that way to get to Bria and Danny and Roxy and them. please feel free to directly message or send DMs. I'll open up the DMs on the H1 scrims. Feel free to send the information there directly. Like, I would love to get as much feedback as we can.
Yeah, what Crumb said. Like, we don't want to change it too drastically because the show up is really, really successful and it's only going. Like I said, we were like 4 hours into scrims and I saw people joining the Discord and no one leaving. It kept.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like, do I move it though slightly back? So it's 4. Do I run it an extra hour and we go 4 to 9, or is that too long?
Now, and another thing with the too long is, you guys don't have to compete in every scrim.
Yeah.
It's scrims. It's not a tournament. You're not getting paid. Yeah. It's not qualifiers. They are scrims. It's pure practice. And the reason why we would only push it back 2 to 8 is because there's more hours and people who are busy still have more time to jump in and play. Or you can jump.
Well, the 2 to 8 for me also, like, I consider doing noon to 6 to accommodate maybe some EU players getting in on the weekends. So I've considered maybe taking off Friday and going Saturday, Sunday, so that there's 2 weekend days and we could possibly get some people in from the EU.
I'm with that.
I don't know. I'd like to hear everybody's feedback, though. Please reach out to us. Please send us some messages on Twitter, whether it's at the Chicken Dinner Show, at H1 Scrims, directly to myself, Sweater or Tino. Either of these guys are in direct contact with me. Please let us know what you guys feel. Leaderboards, I've been trying to keep up to date on those and get all the teams added to the leaderboards. We are keeping track of those. We do have orgs actively watching. So I said this in the scrims the other night. I reached out directly to a bunch of orgs that I know have had interest in orgs that I talked to at MLG Vegas. I was in contact with a bunch of the team owners and stuff there, and gave them a place to look for teams that are performing consistently, place so that they can find the streamers. If you're a streamer rank and you're looking to get into the scene, please let me know so we can get you the Twitter rank or the streamer rank so that they can click and check you out while you're streaming the scrims. But there are orgs that are now watching this that are looking to come into the scene, so there's some opportunities there. Where's it come in? Some more orgs have come in now. So Denial came in.
That team, dude. Oh god.
Yeah. Does anyone know the roster at the top of their head? It's Visions, Yogi, Crank,
and
Triv. They have an
and
unannounced 5th.
Unannounced 5th, but I've seen them running with Piney with success. So
they did. They were running with Piney the other night, so that's pretty cool. They came in. STD just came in. As of like yesterday. So that's Omni. Yeah, that fucking STD, Jesus, dude, it's the worst tag ever. But it's Ana, Omni Skills, Viva La Bad, Raildon, and who's the 5th? Who's the 5th? I'm missing somebody.
I can't quite remember.
Who am I missing? What?
Oh,
Doug. Doug is Rock. Yeah, that was the
yeah.
name that I wasn't really familiar with. That was the one that
He's actually been crushing the boards.
Has he?
Yeah, he's been like.
I need to check him out.
Doing really well.
I need to check him out. Cool. Let's see here. Optional. Don't feel obligated to play all of them. Again, optional. Scrims are optional. I'm sure you guys are aware of that, but there's some people that like message me and ask me not to run scrims for the night because they can't play. These are optional.
Yes.
If you can't run them, don't run them. Don't join. Like, I don't know what to say on that.
it's the stress of the leaderboards. And it's good competition, it's slight competition, but people feel like they have to be there. So I feel that too.
Yeah. So bans. So this is something I'm going to figure out how to do, and I think that what I'm going to do is I've talked with people about what I did with Team Equinox, who openly streamed themselves stream sniping in the scrims. And I knee-jerk reaction, just threw him out of the Discord and put a ban on there. What I'm going to do is I'm basically going to reset your... It's a public game. Cool. If you're going to play, keep playing. I'm going to unban. But I am not going to keep track of your wins. At that point, I'm going to leave whatever the issue is, whatever you did in place of your wins is just going to say whatever it was and the reason that I am no longer keeping track of your wins.
And keep in mind...
because I can't really physically ban somebody from... So I'm just not going to keep track of your wins. We're just going to get rid of that and play whatever.
Don't be stupid. Orgs are watching. Why the hell would you stream snipe or cheat in scrims of all things when people want to get picked up on orgs? Like, you're screwing yourself and your teammates over. Do not be stupid.
Yeah.
Bottom line, don't do that.
We talked about the schedule a little bit. Talked about the orgs. I asked for current schedule opinions. I'd also like to hear back what you guys think on Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And hopefully we can get that done before Wednesday. I get enough feedback, and I might alter the Friday to become Saturday, Sunday this week and test that out. All right. Okay, we're going to move on. And now let's do the main thing. Let's actually just go to the sweater post and start ripping the game apart.
Yeah, it's a long post. I never worked.
You didn't.
I wrote
You said you
essays.
went in and added to it, didn't you? Did you go in? And...
I didn't edit it, but I have stuff on my phone too.
Wait. There's one that you said yesterday that I typed in here that I just want to talk about because it was my favorite one that you came up with.
No, don't say it.
Let's lead with that.
What if I slept on it?
No. Okay,
let's go.
let's cover.
Do it.
So, Sweater made a joke recommendation about being able to move the loot bag since we can't. We were talking about the emotes.
I mean, it wasn't a. I mean, he was
Let's
pretty
just
serious.
say
He
it
was
was
pretty
a
set
joke.
on it.
Cover me.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to cover I'm trying to cover Sweater's ass right now. The ability to move the bag. Yo, can you drop your link? Can you drop a link in
I got it.
in the chat?
Yeah, so basically, like, pick it up and drag it and put it to like a safe location where you can sit there and you can loot the bag.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
this started with the emotes.
It started with the
Let's
emotes.
do the emotes
Yeah,
first.
that's
Tino?
right.
Yeah, so we let in with the
sorry,
emotes.
man.
So we were talking about them removing the emotes to where you can't do the laugh emote and everything while looting anymore, or put it on your left click so your head bobs and weaves while you're shooting. And we're talking about how there needs to be something while looting. And my thought was just upon movement key, it cancels the bag. Like if I get hit, I should just be able to hit forward. It cancels the bag. Done. So I was like, well, why don't we just move the bag?
Then it was
I was like,
just-
what? Like attach a rope and just drag it off the road? Like
No.
hide it behind a rock? Like what are you gonna do with it?
Tie it to a
This
stick carrier arm.
was if people decide to be stubborn and not allow us to have mobility while in a loot bag to avoid getting two tapped, because
Uh-huh.
that's the whole point of the emotes, then at least give us the opportunity to move the damn bag at a reduced movement speed. So you're still hindered, but you're still not getting
If they
two-tapped
do
on
it, if that ever came, I still want it to be like a rope over the guy's back, like just trying to drag as hard as you can, just dragging the bag like along the road. Can you imagine like running over a Chinese guy dragging a bag behind him on the road? Like, come on.
If this game was
Oh.
good enough, get the rope and like caught in
Dude,
the wheels, you
the
just
amount
roll
of
it
like
down.
hilarious. Oh, dude, the rope would blow a vehicle up. You'd die automatically. Like
The main-
this supersonic. Let me see. Yes, yeah, like that. Did you see the crunch? On a stick, though. On a stick with like the little red bandana ball on the end.
Okay, the point of this being is that, in all seriousness, the only reason we used emotes on the bag was to avoid getting two-tapped, because we all know that when you're challenged by a player, your goal is to kill them. You don't want to wait for them to get into a good spot for you to kill them so you can then loot them and not get two-tapped. That's not the point. You kill them, you survive, but you have to loot them where they stand. So the only reason why we were emoting is so we wouldn't get two-tapped. Emoting got out of hand when people were binding it to their damn left click and were just emoting in the middle of a gunfight. That's not okay. That's absolutely not okay. But if Daybreak would please allow us the ability to pull a Rust here and allow us to strafe. I think Crunch has been playing Rust, right? Crunch, you're allowed to strafe on a loot bag in Rust. Forward, back, side to side, and then sprint out of the loot bag when necessary, right? So, like, that should be a thing. I don't know why it's not. Just saying.
Oh yeah, like being able to
Rust,
move
yes,
all the-
yes. Okay, apparently he really wants that.
It's so buttery.
Yo, Measly, thanks for that subscription, bro. Thanks for the resub. I think it was a resub. New sub. New sub. Thank you, man. Welcome to squad, sir. All right. So let's just jump right into this. We're gonna skip your whole intro there, and we're just gonna jump right into talking about this stuff. So loot diversity. I'm gonna let you, because these were your thoughts. I'm gonna let you paraphrase them down because I am not reading.
Oh, you're lost.
I'm not reading your fucking
lost,
novel.
I worked harder on this than I did in school.
I'm aware, but I'm still not reading your novel.
Alright,
I'm
the
not
problem is-
grading paper, so
Okay, alright. I don't have a third monitor, so this is whatever. Alright. So, where do you want me to, like, just, not the
we're
intro,
gonna,
but the
we're
we're
loot
gonna
diversity?
just-
skip that. We're just gonna yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can
Alright.
please read page 1, paragraph 2. Thank you.
Alright, so with loot diversity, the problem is that, just think of residentials. Residentials, you especially, and I'm thinking competitive because I'm a bias.
I talk about. I'm gonna cancel your thing right now. Northeast Residential up by the dam is lit. It's
Okay.
got so much loot.
Okay, but one res, like
One
compared to
res
the rest
of
of
the
res being
7
empty.
or whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that's the problem is when you're thinking comp or just hell, when you're thinking just regular spawns in general, there's still such thing as a bad spawn because of the loot diversity. There are cars everywhere. There's ATVs everywhere. We can talk about that later. That's later down in the post. But if you get a bad spawn, you get a bad spawn. And the rumor going into Z2 was, hey, there's really no bad spawn here. Yes, there is, Daber. There absolutely is a bad spawn. And it's when everyone else is packed all around you, you have no place to go but residentials, and you get pistols and no helmets left and right. Loot diversity should be non-existent. It shouldn't be bad whatsoever. There should be loot everywhere. There should be cars everywhere. People should have the opportunity to jump into a house, grab a helmet, backpack, and a rifle, and then get out and handle their business. But instead of forcing a linear playstyle where, hey, I'm going to jump into residentials, I don't have loot, I have to play super safe, that's weird. I don't like that. Especially coming from a comp point of view. I haven't read my post in a while, so it's probably more in depth, and that's why we linked it. But if you guys want to, again, I'll link it again. If you guys want to read it and then comment on it, feel free. But that's basically loot diversity as far as I'm concerned. They need to have more loot everywhere.
So it's mainly.
Good loot.
So I mean, really, to me, the loot diversity issue is basically what you started with. It's residential. Residential's the issue. I don't feel like you typically run in. Maybe 1 out of 10 times you get a bad loot spawn at like a PD or one of the like sets of stores or something else. It really seems to be just resis that are like awful. Every now and then the residential for some reason will be stacked, but 9 out of 10 times it's like I've walked into 4 buildings and walked out with a flashbang, a hand grenade, and like a waste pack, and that's it out of 3 or 4 buildings in a row. Yeah. So I think the residentials need to be looked at again. I think residentials should be like a major focus of loot.
I'm thinking campsites too. Like you entice a player to land at a campsite because it has Jeep and ATV, and because
it has nothing.
Yeah, it has nothing.
Literally nothing though. There's some that literally spawn nothing every single game. They do not spawn anything.
Every spawn is not a bad, or there's never a bad spawn. There's campsites everywhere for you to loot, but you go to a campsite and there's like a fire. Like you're done.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
maybe you can warm up in survival, but like if there's a vehicle there, then cool. You have a vehicle. At least you can go elsewhere. Unless it's an ATV and you're rolling with a 5-man group, and then you send one guy off to go find a vehicle and cross your fingers that you don't get shit on. But the point being is that you need to have loot everywhere, Daybreak. Everywhere. RNG shouldn't be a thing. Period. When it comes to competitive, and I guess we're all pretty biased here.
Yeah,
in
looting, I definitely don't think there should be. I don't think.
Yeah. In my opinion, the only RNG that should remain in the game is spawns. That's it. I don't care where I spawn, so long as you allow me to land and grab an AR, helmet, and a backpack, pretty much in the first place I go. Because the skill gap does not lie in who can loot better, because it's clearly based on RNG. It lies in who has a better shot, who's smarter, and just basically outplaying the other team and or solo individual if you're in solos or duos or whatever. But RNG should only lie in spawns and spawns alone. That's it.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I actually just got Sam Brown just messaged me in regards to stuff. So, love her. By the way, if you guys don't know Sam Brown, Samantha on Twitch, she's amazing.
Wow.
Give her praise and love anytime you run into her in a chat. All right. Sharing of loot, crafting in team games.
Yes.
I read some of this and it was talking about cars. And I want to touch on that myself because I've had thoughts on this as well. One, if I am in any seat other than the driver's seat, I should be able to craft.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I am in the back seat, I should be able to access the trunk. Why can the driver not craft, but he can access the trunk? I don't understand. If anybody shouldn't be able to access the trunk, it's the driver.
It's the driver.
Even
though
he's got to hit the button to open the trunk.
Yes.
Like, so I don't understand. I don't understand. Please let me have access to the trunk. I think that the gist of what you were saying is that it is a central hub for your team. It should be something where we need to get out of somewhere quick, grab loot, get in, throw in the trunk, you grab what you need, I grab what I need. Everybody in the car should be able to have access to the trunk. I don't know if that's a limitation of the engine or if it's
It used to be a thing.
Was it?
I know I believe it used to be a thing. Chat can confirm. I know there's a couple of veterans here, but it used to be a thing where you're able to craft while the car is moving, and you used to be able to access stuff.
Crafting while moving, that's something that's easy. The trunk, I don't know if you've ever been able to access it from a different
but
seat.
It should be. It's been 2 years, Daybreak.
Bring back Dolphin
Same.
Dive. Stop it, Roldan. Stop it. I 100% agree, though. There needs to be some. I think that they can do more with the vehicles for a team format, especially like if you're running late and like one guy has all the med kits and you're in the gas and you're trying to drive out. You already can't see. Like I should be able to hand a med kit to that guy.
You have to hop out. Yeah,
You have to hop out, drop
it
it on the ground. It
insane.
becomes like this whole.
The logic of crafting and casting the medkit is because you're standing still. In a vehicle, you are literally sitting still. The car itself is moving. That's the whole point of a damn vehicle. So you
Right.
should be able to cast stuff. If Mobs is to my left in the fifth seat, and we can talk about the fifth seat too, I should at least be able to like choose
God, the
a
fifth seat
my
is
weapon
terrible.
in the fifth seat. We call it the bit seat. You're not allowed to
It
touch
definitely
anything.
is. You
in
can't
the
do
fifth
anything.
seat.
You're just
Exactly.
stuck there.
Well, you
Like,
used to be able to
your head's gonna be
emote,
tapped out.
like, right?
I think your head still shakes, doesn't it? While driving, like your character
Your
kind
head
of moves around a little
bobbles
bit.
like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
on like terrain, but like if Mobs is in the bitch seat and his helmet gets popped off from Supersonic who shoots our car, I should be able to toss a helmet to him via the trunk and he just gets to pop it on, or a makeshift or a Lammy, and we can talk about Lammies later. This I have an essay for everyone, so this is gonna be fun.
Okay.
But
Please send your feedback to us and Sweater as well on this. Comment
Well,
on it.
another comment is Magnums. Magnums are anti-vehicles, 100% real. Like, they're not going anywhere, it doesn't think, and they shouldn't go anywhere. But you should not force us to get out of the car and make us either patrol with the car or hide it in a safe spot just to exchange goods. We should be able to throw it in the trunk, and that's it, bottom line. Because it's slowing the gameplay down entirely. Especially with gas being super strong and whatnot, it's just, I don't know. It should have been fixed a while ago.
Yeah, I think they can definitely do more with vehicles. I've put out stuff saying that they need to scrap and redo the way that the collision detection works on the vehicle with players.
Well, it's also
Because
decent, you know?
it's
probably
decent
decent.
because it's trajectory. You can actually. I believe I had a conversation with them, and I'll have to rehab this conversation with them and get confirmation. But the way I understood it when I had a conversation with them about it was that it basically can work like bullets. Like you can make it hit scan. Like if I hit them on my screen, they die. So the thing with this game is that it's either going to feel bad for the person trying to kill the guy, or it's going to feel bad for the guy that dies. Always. Like imagine if we made bullets hit scan. With the
No.
way desync works, can you
Never.
imagine how far around a corner you would make it and then fall over dead?
Yeah. Yeah. No. The learning curve of the game is basically just bullet drop itself, and even
Bullet drop and desync.
yeah, exactly. And desync, yes.
Learn desync. If you don't understand desync, you are not going to be good at this game.
We might have 3 to 5k hours, but there still hits a range. Chat, Crunchba, everyone who's competing. That if some dude's far away, you don't have it exactly memorized to the point where I have to raise my crosshair exactly this length. You still have to test it out. Like you shoot 2 bullets, you look for dirt.
I
and
tend to test fire high.
Exactly.
I tend to test fire high and test fire far ahead for the most part.
Yep. So
That way they at least
it's a
run
big-
into it.
The big skill gap is the bullet lead and whatnot. So
Yeah. Okay.
it should remain.
Was there anything else on vehicles? Either one of you have?
Yeah. Well, the next post is
The next
about
post is vehicles. Yeah.
What?
The
What
next
were we
post
just
is
talking
vehicles.
about?
So the first,
What?
Well, yeah, I brought it up, and I thought that you made your ideas. Is
Well,
there
you
more
started
in
with
there?
Magnums and
Vehicle spawns itself. So
Vehicle
with vehicle
spawns.
spawns, it's the equivalent to just RNG loot in general. People keep making the argument, hey, it's car 1Z1. Why are there so many vehicles? Blah, 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 blah. Yes and no. If we took away cars, then who are we to argue about the RNG of actual loot via rifles, laminated, forget I said laminated, just helmets, backpacks, so on and so forth. Why would we make vehicles more rare? I think it's silly considering how wide and spread out the Z2 map is, and especially how big it is. Too many cars in PV? Yeah, that's one thing I can agree on. There are far too many cars in PV. Far too many cars in PV. But as far as like the number of cars on Z2, it's pretty much perfect. If you want to replace some Jeeps with ATVs just to make the people on Reddit stop crying, then fine. That's chill. But there should definitely be as many vehicles on the map as there are currently, and it should remain that way. Because when you get a bad spawn, at least you can jump in the vehicle and self-correct. Because when Daybreak screws you over, at least you can fix the situation. Whereas, if you're going to sit there and complain, oh my god, there's so many vehicles on the map, pull out a damn Magnum. That's the anti-vehicle. It is 100% your fault if there's a vehicle in front of you and you're complaining about it. your fault entirely. It's not Daybreak's fault. It's no one but your fault. So just pull out a Magnum and fix it. But vehicles should remain exactly the same, exactly as they are, in my opinion.
Talking about
I agree in
spawns,
teams. I don't like it in solos.
Spawns definitely like I feel like there needs to be like some tuning for the cars. Quite a bit of tuning, especially for the truck. Dude, the truck is so useless, man.
Yeah,
it's like
didn't we touch the truck?
Yeah, we talked about the truck, about putting
yeah.
like a metal plate on the back of it,
but
and
it's just, it still irritates me to this day, and nothing's really been done so
Yeah,
far. So.
it
We could touch it again. Like cop car's way too OP right now. At least in comparison to the Jeep as well as the truck. Like
It hauls, man. Yeah,
yeah,
it's fast.
there's no there's no pros and cons to it. It's just there's the cop car. Let's take it.
It's
But,
just gone. Yeah.
yeah, if you put the truck and allow it some more fortification, or give the Jeep and allow it some like more beefy health, like it has 25% more health than the cop car, but a little bit slower. At least there is a pro and con to it, and then there's preference. But right now it's just, hey, there's a cop car. Let's just fucking drive it, man. Let's do it. So I don't know.
Like they did when we did talk about it last time, and I think we had
rocket launchers are right. Get the stop.
The guy talked about how the truck was beefier, but when you smack it against like an object or something, it still takes just as much damage, and it's not beefy at all, which made zero sense to me, you know?
Say that again. Sorry, Crunchbell's flirting with me.
No, I was just saying that like when the guy was talking about it, I think it was Adrian talking about it,
Uh-huh.
saying the truck was beefy, and in what sense is it beefy when it takes the same damage for everything?
It's not beefy. Yeah, it has the same
Exactly.
amount of base health as any other vehicle, except it's slower and doesn't allow as much fortification as any other vehicle does. Like your hitbox is right there on the back of the truck, and even now that we can stand up, our hitbox is even more apparent. Like, I don't know. They need to.
Yeah,
do
now when you're driving at somebody and they miss the driver, you get hit anyways. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Made my hitbox bigger. This feels good. Yeah, I've never liked the pickup. I think that what we covered the last time, I think, would add to it, and that's that add the metal plate to the back of it, and give the person in the turret seat the ability to actually turn all the way, because
There's a blind spot.
There's a blind spot that's like a full 45 to 60 degrees on each side of you. Some of the things just like don't make sense to me. Like you've hindered it so much, and then you take things that like common sense stuff, like, okay, apparently I can't turn 90 degrees to my left or my right. I think you should have 180 degrees of turn forward, and then when you're crouched down, 180 degrees shooting backwards.
Yep, because I don't know. I feel like there should be a metal plate on the back of the truck. I'm just lowballing it, but like metal plate on the back of the truck. If you crouch, you are hidden behind the metal gate, and if you stand up, only like your shoulders and head are showing. But on the sides, there's nothing. So at least the people in a Jeep and or cop car, you know how like you go first person, you could actually shoot to the side so long as your driver stays straight. Then there's a counter to that. You get on the side of the truck and you start lining them up from the side instead of just spraying. Like there needs to be some sort of pros and cons to each vehicle, like as far as like team preference. Like there might be some teams that enjoy the truck now, might be some teams that enjoy a Jeep if you buffed it by 25% HP, so on and so forth, and keep the Magnums the way they are, so it would actually make sense. But
yeah, I think some differentiating features in terms of like how much damage the vehicles can take would be a good change.
how do you shoot when your aim is blocked, Sweater? Crumb, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That too, man.
Jason,
So
That's
about
that's
that.
one too.
yeah, I actually
Smash the other day.
lost my the other day on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tweeted it out, and Adrian actually responded, which if some of you guys might remember him, Ken Adams, who came on the show from Daybreak, one of the product managers. And he responded, and he started kind of asking us questions on how we felt about it, on whether we preferred it without that, and like your bullets just hit the wall in front of you or something like that. And I'm like, yes, 100%. I would much rather like hit, and as long as your bullets are hitting something and showing me where the bullet hit, my job as a player should be to realize that I am shooting the wall and adjust. But it allows you to pre-fire. It brings in a lot of stuff with the desync where like I have the ability as the person being rushed to still have peeker's advantage, which with desync you don't always have right now. So I think being able to pre-fire into a wall, or if you're like right up against a fence, blast through the fence. Like having to run up to the fence and I'm trying to shoot, my last bullet
God,
stops
dude.
and the fence stops, and I've got to back up, fire the last bullet, and then like walk through it is really
yeah.
irritating.
When I have to back up and cut 2 seconds off my plan to shoot through the fence and don't walk through it while a player's coming up behind me, like that's not okay. Like I should be able to just blast through it point blank. Like it should be taken out of the game entirely. And on top of that, they need to fix, and it's later in the post, but the crosshair itself. Like when you go Visions, I saw a post about this. He was in a gas station. He's third person. His crosshair is above the
And it doesn't
the
work.
shelf, and then he goes first person, and the crosshair is suddenly not. Like there is no alignment. There is no parallel to first person crosshair to third person crosshair. They're two entirely different crosshairs that look the same.
Yeah, they are completely different, and I think that has to do with camera angles, and that I don't know if that's something that ever gets fixed. I don't know that.
Well, Cryptid is a bone to pick with camera angles, man. If you put him in here for 5 seconds.
I don't know if that ever gets that there. What you're talking about with the vision things, I don't know if that ever gets fixed because it's two separate cameras, and you have to make that camera feel good, right? So you have to make it. So they're slightly off. Like if you fire a dot, if you stand 10 feet, 15 feet back off of a wall, shoot the wall, then go first person, shoot the wall, the bullet's going to be slightly off. And I don't know if that's ever going to. I don't think that's ever going to change, personally.
Unfortunately.
Bring back ignition. No.
All right. You guys good to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lammies.
Two-hit vests.
I think we've had a bunch of talks about this one.
Yes. Yes.
This is a change I really want to.
The way I feel is obviously the less RNG in a video game, the better. And basically my entire Reddit post chat, it's literally RNG. It's basically, is this RNG? Yes. How do we fix it? Okay. I'm not going out of my way to say yes, it's RNG. Fix it. And just not give you a reason how. So with two-hit Lammies, the big problem right now that people come to the conclusion of is skins. Skins, that's it. Because if two-hit Lammies were out of the game, what do we do with the skins? Because no one in the comp scene anyway, as far as I could tell, likes it when a team, down the street gets 5 Lammies and you don't. Or you're in solos and you land in residentials and the dude gets a Lammie and rushes you with a helmet and you're sitting there with an R380 and nothing. Like, in my opinion, laminated vests should be taken out of the game entirely and makeshifts should stay in the game. And you should be able to skin the makeshifts to look like the laminated skins. Therefore, Lammie skins are still in use. Or you keep the laminated vests in the game. You either give one crate a hunting rifle, airdrop crate, one airdrop crate a hunting rifle, or one airdrop crate, depending on the BR variant.
AR body armor.
Yes, exactly. So in a solos, there will be 1 body armor. In 2s, there will be 1 to 2 body armors. In 5s, the crate will hold probably 2 to 3 Lammies instead of 5, because that's a little insane. But in this case, you either get a hunting rifle or you get a Lammie, but you don't get a hunting rifle and then screwed over by bombs plus every other team that hopes there's a hunting rifle in there when there's actually just an AR and a shotgun. So that way you're rewarded regardless. You either get Lammies or a hunting rifle. But having laminated vests just sitting around the map, no.
Yeah, and so Ringworm, we have been saying this forever, but something that Sweater just added to the conversation that we've had before is that he said that add in a more than 1 Lammie based on what BR variant you're in. So solos, duos, or 5s. I hadn't given that thought. Now, is 2 to 3 Lammies equivalent to that of a hunting rifle?
Yes. Yes. If you have makeshifts and if you're the only team or one of 2 teams with 2-hit Lammies on the map and you actually know how to prioritize them, and you don't just throw them away by, like, magnuming another team and leaving your Lammie on. Like, if you actually prioritize it well, yeah, you're at a complete advantage. 100%. Like, if you're like, okay, guys, we gotta get aggressive on this team. I've been saving my 2-hit Lammies. Let's pass them out and let's go. Let's get aggressive. And that's what happens.
Guess what? If the vehicle worked, you could just keep them all in the vehicle, and then...
Yeah, or that, yeah.
And then, because then you don't have to worry about it, because if your car does get blown up, you can still pick up the Lammies. If you could actually move them around, then you can. It adds a little bit to choosing whether you're going to wear your Lammie or not for an engagement, and saving it. So
Bria says, "Would need more bag space." Well, I mean, we kind of do it already. We already do it. If anything, it would be less bag space taken. Yeah, exactly. Like there'll be less Lammies on the map, therefore less bag space taken up, therefore more ammo, more med kits, more pro coagulants, so on and so forth. As long as Lammies are not laying around the map, but they're more so laying around in crates. That way,
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go
that
ahead.
way, if they keep bombs in the game, that they're still a threat. At least early to mid game. Bombs shouldn't be in the game late game, but early to mid game, bombs will still be a threat. Players who want Lammies and hunting rifles will be even more of a threat because there's 100% guarantee that if you get to the crate first, you are being rewarded for it. So it's gonna be even more like it's gonna be either left or right. Like, do I go left and go for the crate along with 5 other teams plus airdrop plus bombs, or do I go right and say screw that, I'm gonna play safe, keep my teammates alive, and let the other people trade? And at least you give players the option to either choose a good choice, bad choice, learn from it, so on and so forth, or win by it, instead of just saying, it might be a hunting rifle or it might be an AR. It's not worth it. Let's just leave. And everyone's turning right. But if you buff it, you're going to have a lot more people turning left. And that's where the skill gap lays. That's where decisions lie. And that's where it gets hard. And that's what Daybreak should be doing. Giving us decisions, left or right, up or down, not just right. So
Yeah.
that's where I stand.
I agree. I'm going to respond to something real quick here. Are you guys going to discuss how Daybreak aren't adding new servers to address the addition of new players? They just did new hardware, and there is literally people on the ground installing new hardware and working on it actively in Europe right now from Daybreak. They already openly said that. I'm pretty sure Braun responded in a chat or something the other day that adding servers is an option, but it takes time when they add the servers because you basically have to reconfigure them, and you have to reconfigure all the old servers too because you now have to move the load to spread them out. There's a bit more to it than what we think goes into it, which I'm sure there is. A lot of the stuff that they're doing, I've seen a little bit of it, and a lot of it has a lot more going into it than there is. I still feel that I'm still on the side with you though, Roldan, and the rest of the community that we need more servers. I'm still on the side that we still need to ping lock and region lock the servers. I'm still tired. I got ping locked yesterday. I'm 3 miles from the server with 1,000 down, 1,000 up.
Hey, Jason, get outplayed.
While a Chinese guy skipping across the map shot me. So that was
Outplayed.
amazing.
But speaking about
So
servers, though, today,
that
has anyone played today?
it needs to be added. It's something that servers are servers are a hard thing to really kind of talk about and like have a discussion about, Roldan, because it's 100% one-sided. There's no like talking about it to like add to that conversation. We need the servers to function. We need more servers.
Your game.
Anybody have anything to add to that conversation?
Yeah, but I was just saying today, like, has anyone played today?
It just no, I haven't.
No?
Not yet.
Just woke up.
I kind of woke up
Everyone
like
that's
20
done
minutes
with
before we
school
started
or
this.
at work? Dude, queue times are nice today. Like this morning. They were pretty solid.
True.
Yeah, they were pretty solid. Played
But
from
yeah,
like 9 to like 10 or 9 to like 12. Sorry.
nice. Yeah, it's very rare you get a good queue time anymore. And on the European side, I mean, they're getting like queues of like 1,500. So I get mad every time I die to somebody like skipping around the map or like somebody talks to me in like a language from like, I don't know, Germany or wherever they're playing from. I get irritated, but like at the same time, I can't really blame them for bailing out on a 10 to 15 minute queue to play on the US server. Like I can't get mad at them. So the servers do need to be touched on. They do. They need to put in new servers. They need to. Yeah, I mean it's as simple as that. There's no other conversation to have on that topic. Like it's put them in. That or optimize the current servers to run better. Something needs to happen though. More crates. We always need more crates. Zim, I love you. You do a great job. I don't care what they say. I love all your crates, sir. And yeah, so we'll go to the next one. What was it?
Click and equip.
Click and equip. That's
Yes.
pretty
Pretty
one.
standard. Pretty standard MMO type feel. Pretty standard. Pretty much every game type feel. Instead of if Crunchba, I keep bringing him up because he keeps flirting with me. He's just stuck in my head. And I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that. If he shoots my helmet off, I should be able to auto run, open up my inventory, left click or double left click on my helmet, and it pops right on. Like I shouldn't have to drag it, and then oh no, I dragged it, but it didn't register. And yes, there's a registration problem when you drag and equip armor, drag and equip Lammy, so on and so forth.
Well, have you noticed that like trying to equip, sometimes you actually have to like double click and get the red circle to actually like get on like you click and it highlights it and you drag it, nothing happens, and then you go back and click it like 3 times and it puts the red circle, then you can move it.
There's 3 problems with this.
There's a lot of problems.
Yeah,
I like the roulette one. The shuffle. Like you loot something and it should shift over one slot, but instead they like spiral everywhere and it lands in a random order. That's my favorite one. I know Crunch loves that one. That is Crunch's favorite thing ever.
That's 4 problems then, because there's that. There's the, okay, I'm clicking on it, but it's not dragging it. It's just sitting in my inventory still. There's, I clicked on it, dragged it, but it didn't go on my head or it didn't go on my chest, whether we're talking about helmet or armor. And then there's the, why can't I just left click it once or twice just to equip it? Like, why can't I do that? Like, I know there's the right click equip, but it's standard MMO just procedure. Just left click it, it gets attached.
Yeah, if I don't have something in that slot, put it there.
Yep, exactly. That's just how it should be.
Like if you pick up 2 ARs, it shoves the second AR into your bag instead of into your slot if you're trying to go double AR at the beginning of a game.
That's another.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
That's a topic that's in the Reddit post too. That's a lot.
Yeah, so that was good. So click and equip, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna guess Tino probably agrees. Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I left click. It goes to designated slot. If I have one thing that I've seen that happens sometimes, but it doesn't always happen. So let's say you get shot long range from a shotgun and it damages your helmet, right?
Yep.
If I pick up a helmet off the ground and my helmet was damaged, I didn't know, it will swap the helmet to the
higher durability.
The higher durability. It does not do it on Lammies. And it doesn't always work.
Sometimes it does. Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't do it every time. It's not consistent. So consistency, again, consistency is the issue. Consistency is the issue in almost everything. Needs to be consistent.
Everything needs to be consistent. Everything.
Yeah. Cool. That one was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The movement.
Okay. All right. So I think this is hilarious. So back in the day, everyone kind of knows that like I really like moving around a lot, like drop shotting, jump shotting, like just chain. I guess
highest
chain
APM and H1.
Together. Highest APM and H1. And everyone's like, "Screw you, sweater. Let's take it away." Basically, screw every player that abuses this. I'm getting destroyed. Instead of saying, "Hey, I got something to learn on the keyboard. I gotta get better with the keyboard because the keyboard is a skill." Now it's just the mouse being a skill. This thing. It's just that's literally it left in the game. Everyone said, let's take the keyboard out of the game, and now a year later everyone's like, I missed the keyboard. I told you. Everyone. I told you. So and now everyone wants jump shotting back. People don't necessarily want drop shotting back, but I think they could adjust it.
I think drop shotting fine. I don't think
Yes.
I don't think dolphin flopping across the
you're right.
fucking
Okay. I get that was fun as hell.
When somebody comes past the door, when you're inside the door and you know they're coming in and they come past the door the old way and you'd see them do this like 3 times through like one doorway, they just like this as they went by, like that I didn't agree with. I think that a very, very short cooldown just to stop how quickly that flop is would have been fine to keep that movement in to where you could go down and up once, but you can't go down and up 6 times in 1 second.
Yeah, and just to take it back, I didn't mean to take credit for all this movement stuff. I didn't mean to, like, do that stuff. But,
wasn't it Pug that I'm pretty sure I heard Pug blame you for the dolphin flop?
That's kind of where my tiny little ego jumps into it. Is where it's like I think I might have been one of the first people, if not the first person, to start throwing that because I don't know. But now people want it back. The point being, people want it back, and not necessarily the drop shot. Drop shot's fine. Is Ringworm in chat? Because I'm pretty sure I drop shotted him and someone else for the win in the scrim. But drop shot's great. It's fun. But I think jump shotting would be fun to have back. But just to be reasonable with Daybreak, can we at least just take away the cooldown on jumping?
Can we? Can we take away the cooldown on jumping? And can we? I don't know, that producer's letter that came out at one point that said that we were going to be able to jump in ADS, not really fire accurately, but my ADS would be able to go off so that when I hit the ground, I could start firing. Can we talk about that? I would really like that to, I don't know, be here already. That was like 5 producers' notes ago. Like forever ago.
That was a while ago.
That
was a long time ago.
Cooldown off jumping. You are now able to chain jumps. Just flick your mouse, land, jump again. And all the while, before you land, you're already aiming down sight in midair. Mind you, if you shoot in midair with this hopeful patch, your shot's not going to be accurate, but at least it allows you the opportunity to line up your crosshair. So when you do land, you're already aiming at the player. So chain jumps, ADS in midair, land, challenge, rinse and repeat. That would be smooth. That would at least allow the people who have a good skill set on the keyboard and so on and so forth to actually, achieve success with movement in this game instead of just keeping the cooldown on the jumping and then not allowing us to ADS and in midair. It's just really weird. It's stale. You're just strafing back and forth and maybe crouching every once in a while these days and maybe drop shotting if someone's right next to you. Yeah. But it's really, really, really stale. And I know Daybreak's like, from a spectator point of view, you don't want to look too clunky, and I think it's ironic that the game is actually really clunky looking right now. It's really slow, so on and so forth. If you at least allowed us to do that, people at home would be like, wow, I kind of want to do that. That looks cool. Well, I kind of want to do that. That actually looks like it could help me, and so on and so forth. That way, we at least have a keyboard skill set and a mouse skill set. And if you master both, you're suddenly good at the game. Whereas right now, it's okay. I can press A and D on my keyboard, but if I'm good at the mouse, I'm a god. And that's not how it should be. It's not how it is in any other FPS, but H1, at least on the PC. So I'm in full argument for the keyboard.
I think most players feel the same way. Like most will feel the same way.
Now
Like,
they
the
do.
fact
Now
that,
they
like,
do.
yeah, the fact that like there's no movement, that it's just like it's just.
I think back then they didn't have
Like,
the actual like mouse. Like they didn't have the. You didn't have your right hand. You didn't have the skill of your right hand, so having to try and learn the keyboard at the same time was just too much for some people.
So now
I
Daybreak
just-
did us a favor. They took away the keyboard, made
Yeah.
us good on the mouse, and now they're gonna give us our
And
keyboard.
now they give us the keyboard back. They're like kind of easing you back into it.
There
They're
you
like,
go.
see, it wasn't that bad, guys. You just got to do it in order. Let's try and move through these ones. I know we covered standardizing crosshairs, so depicted safe zones and recoil pattern.
Oh, okay. So Bizarre wanted me to touch on safe zones. This is just something that's kind of been like boiling in my head. It might not get a good response from you guys. I'm not gonna hold a grudge. I don't really care. Some of you might think it's cool, but safe zones, RNG. So this is how I think at least something of this sort should go. I'm gonna have to reread it just to make sure I'm saying it right. But there was talks of making the safe zone itself, not smaller safe zones, even though safe zones should look more accurate on the map. That we could just throw that out there right now.
Yeah.
Safe
Well,
zones
that-
on the map.
The safe zone on the map doesn't need to look more accurate. The map needs to be more accurate. The safe zone's accurate.
One of the
the
two,
map
but it
isn't.
just
The
needs
map
to be
isn't
accurate.
depicting exactly where it is.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
But the point being is, there was talks of making the safe zone center, and I don't know if Tino or Jason, if you guys heard of this, but the safe zone would center on itself every time. That way, people would be able to predict where the safe zone is going to be constantly. So it would be RNG first safe zone, and then center, and then center, and then
Isn't
center,
that how
and then center.
Player Unknowns does it?
I think so. I'm not sure.
It doesn't just because it depicts a
Good
couple
night.
safe zones in advance. I think it depicts 2 or 3 safe zones. I didn't play
But-
quite enough hours to.
I didn't play
to
it.
I only
remember.
played
Maybe somebody can tell
I only
us.
played like a few of them. I don't think it was multiple safe zones though. It was just one at a time.
The way I thought it should be, for the sake of basically everyone and still allowing RNG to play some sort of role, is this. You have we're gonna change the color of the current safe zone to blue, just like it is in, I think, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or something of the sort, maybe Arma. But you change it to blue. You change the next safe zone that's gonna happen to green. You change the next safe zone after that to yellow, and next one after that to red. So it's going to be a big circle, another circle that's green, another circle that's yellow, another circle that's red. And not necessarily centering on itself, but still RNG placement within each and every safe zone. That way players are given the prediction of, hey, there's safe zone 1, 2, 3, and 4, and depending on how late game you want to play, that's the safe zone you can fight for. You're going to have teams such as what would have been Elevate, Inboxes and them, those really aggressive, really just, I don't know, good shots that would fight for the red safe zone being pretty much the last, or at least the latest safe zone to be, so they can have the most map control. Whereas you're going to have other teams who want to play more intellectually say, hey, let's let those guys fight, potentially, if they do. Let's play a little bit safer. Let's go for either the green or the yellow safe zone. You still get depicted safe zones. You still get predictions. You allow people the opportunity to either be aggressive on each safe zone, get map control before it gets too late, or you allow people to play more passive and then try to pinch or so on and so forth. My point being is give players the options. You give them the forecast, and then you let them decide what they want to wear for that forecast. Whether they want to wear the yellow safe zone, the green safe zone, the blue safe zone, the red safe zone, but at least allow players to make the opportunity instead of, hey, Revenge is up north and the safe zone went south. We just lost map control in 10 seconds because this RNG just screwed us over. At least give us the opportunity to
I think
see the
forecasting
future.
one in
Yeah,
advance.
One or
I think
two.
One safe
I think
zone?
I think
Oh,
two. I think two's too much. I think after
Okay,
you
yeah.
have your current safe zone that's gonna happen plus
And the
one
next one after that.
at the most, and that's just me trying to like add on to this idea. I don't necessarily. I would have to think about this about a bit more on whether I actually feel that it would bring to the game, but I think that there definitely needs to be a reworking of how the gas works, how the gas circles work. Going forward,
Just
and
some
I'm
variation.
talking strictly for competitive scene play. I think that there needs to be some changes, and then the majority of these that we talk about are all from a standpoint of competitive, not the normal player just playing the game like wants to go hide in a whatever building, bathroom, wherever he wants to hang out for the game and just try to win at the end. I actually mean the players that are playing every day. So there definitely needs to be some changes.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was like off the head thing that at least I emphasized it so much that there'd be 4 safe zones on the map, so it could at least be tuned back if it was to go into play. But something like that definitely needs to happen, in my opinion.
What about dynamic safe zones? Whatever happened to those?
Oh, they're still there. They're just
Are they really?
They're basically as tuned back as ping lock is. Enough said.
Yeah, because it's terrible. You don't you'll have 20 players in a game with a huge safe zone, or less than that in a huge safe zone. It takes forever to end the game because people are hiding. So.
Yep, it's boring. And for the sake of spectating, even with Daybreak, it's boring. I don't know, tune it up a little
nobody
bit.
wants to watch somebody sit in a camper for 5 minutes.
I don't know. As players, the game goes by quick. Quick. Unless you're
yeah.
solo and you're streaming and you're and my viewers are bored. But if you're competing, the games go by quick. You got the adrenaline, you got the time to think.
Focus,
so
look around.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, these 5 scrims don't feel slow to me.
No.
If I play normal 5s and I play it the way that I do a scrim, it feels very slow. But once you're in there and you know and you see names that you recognize and everything else, it feels like it's moving faster.
You even have people by-knocking other teams. My team, there was a team up on the mountain a week ago, and we were by-knocking another team, and they were by-knocking us, we were just waving at them. And we knew exactly who they were because of their outfit.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I've had those moments where you're looking across and your whole team's got binoculars out and the other team's got binoculars out, and you're so far away that it's not even worth throwing a bullet, not even a magnum bullet. You're literally as far out as you possibly be, and it's just
Stop. Mutual respect.
You waiting to see where this circle's going to? Yeah, I'm waiting for it. Okay, AR recoil pattern.
Yes, RNG.
So this is gonna be, I think, the topic out of all of them that is more so where people are gonna be, don't touch my AR.
Well, I mean,
is gonna be somebody's gonna have somebody's gonna say don't touch the AR.
I know
so.
the
well, this is the thing. It's random, so it can go left, right.
Well,
left,
let's explain it first.
Okay.
Okay, so if you guys don't know the RNG to the AR, or if you just have no idea RNG to the AR even exists, you're wrong. You're wrong entirely. So the gun itself, when you shoot it at let's say you are medium range and you're trying to laser someone across the map or whatever, the AR recoil goes like this. Left. It should go left, right, or at least left, right, left, right, or something of the sort. But right now it goes left, right, right, or left, right. It literally will go left or right, but there's no pattern to it. That's the problem. That's the RNG problem with the AR. So there's absolutely no pattern to it. If you feel like you lasered a dude, you got lucky as hell. If you feel like a dude lasered you, he got lucky as hell. So if I'm turning a corner and Crunch Bro's turning a corner and we fight each other, whoever has the bet, let's say our shots are pretty much the same.
The exact same timing. Everything's the exact same.
Exactly.
Except the RNG.
The AR recoil. Now, if Crunch Bro's AR goes left, right, he melts me. If my AR goes left, right, I'm fucked. I'm done. I'm dead.
Lost.
Am I fined? Am I fined for cussing? I have no idea. It's
You're
my
fine.
first day. Okay.
Yeah.
Fined. So that's the problem with the AR. Now, another counter argument to this is if you make it left, right, you're gonna have players lasering other players across the map, and then that's where the argument comes in: is bullet lead too much of a skill gap to the point, or enough of a skill gap to make it balanced to the point where you still have to know where to land those shots to actually hit them, or is it going to be too consistent to the point where players can actually laser people all the way across the map in a second? And that's where movement also comes into play. Is if you realize, okay, the AR recoil is finally fixed after 2 years, thanks Daybreak, and this is hypothetical, that's where movement comes into play. If they fix the movement, fix the AR recoil, you have options. If I know, if I get hit once, I'm like, oh god, here comes the rest of the bullets. I'm immediately going to stop or jump backwards or stop and start moving.
Problem with desync is if it lasers, you're dead already anyways. That's the problem, is that the movement's not going to save you, and I think that's the hard part with the AR recoil, is that you're going to have lasers, and by the time that first bullet hits you, on his screen, he already hit you the other 3 times. You're dead.
Yeah. AR recoil is an issue, Geesh, because, again, the AR can go... For you, the AR... Do you guys ever find, man, I'm having an off day? No, you're probably a pretty consistent player. Your AR is the one that's being off. You could have 3 gunfights in a row where your AR goes left, right, left, and all of a sudden you're aiming at Mars, and the dude in front of you has left, right, and just lasered you. He didn't outplay you. You weren't gonna outplay him if your AR got lucky RNG recoil. The game just basically took a crap on you, and that's just how it is. And the whole point of my Reddit post was, hey, this is RNG. Even the slight topic is RNG. How do we fix it? How do we fix it? Now,
I don't think it should ever be able to go one direction 3 times, and it can.
ever. And that's what Yogi said. Yogi's like, I think it's
2
okay.
maybe,
Maybe
but it
left,
should not be
left,
able to
right,
go.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because that fucks you up for one shot in a close range fight. The 3 though is where it starts causing some issues, I think.
And again, I honestly, it's gonna be hard to tell initially. We can't make the perfect decision here, and I doubt Daybreak. I don't know if Daybreak's even gonna consider it, but at least make it so the AR recoil is perfect, where it goes left, right, and at least see how it plays out, and then adjust it. But instead of just relying on RNG, like whenever I'm in a scrim, I'm running up on somebody, and I'm using an AR, which I usually am. I'm literally telling myself, I'm praying to the AR gods, hey, please give me good AR recoil. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Because this player is good, and he might get lucky. He might get lucky with his AR. And that's not how it should be. There should be consistencies. So when there's consistency, there's a heightened skill gap. When there's a heightened skill gap, there's amateurs, there's pros, there's newbies, and Bambis, and so on. But if you make half the game RNG, my grandma could sit in my chair, play for an hour, warm up her shot, and shit on Crunchbro just because the AR had better recoil. And that's not how it should be at all. Allow consistency, the roof rises as far as skill goes. Allow the roof to rise, there's more room to learn. More room to learn, there are better players, better people to learn from, and then therefore the game looks appealing. 100% appealing. But don't let people get shit on just because there's RNG in play. Like, that's not okay.
I feel like the fact that like some guy with a few hours is like learning the game,
Yep.
smacks his mouse button a bunch of times and goes, "Oh look, I killed him."
Yeah, if
because
someone jumps
my gun was my RNG was better.
Yeah, if I introduce my friend into scrims, he brings some of my other friends in, and he's lasering me across the map, and he literally shits on me because he got good AR recoil. That's not okay. That's not okay at all. That's not fun. So I'm getting heated.
All
Get
right,
me off the mic.
moving on.
I think it's a topic.
Moving on. We got to get through these. We've also got to figure out somebody to host here because we are going to get to the end of this here pretty quick. So we got to find somebody to give some love to today. So if people got some suggestions.
Second last topic.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into these. I'm just getting people ready to go. Well, a couple of them we covered already. Dual weapon auto equip covered. We basically talked about that during the previous part. If I click the thing, it should just go into the next open slot.
I guess move bug was no
standardizing the crosshair.
Dude, that bug.
So this is one that I'm definitely aware of, and I've talked about on my stream. Is that there's something wrong in the camera that the dot basically moves 1 dot higher, like a half a dot higher, and you can watch it just climb every bullet. It moves up. So yeah, that 100% needs to be fixed, especially with the AK. The AK is worse than the AR, and the AR doesn't do it nearly as much. The AK is terrible with it, though.
Yeah, just if I'm in a scrim and my team got map control on top of a mountain, which is preference, like it's really good map control, and then that team challenges me from the bottom for God knows why, but they do. You aim down sight, and initially from the hip, your crosshair was on their head, and all of a sudden your crosshair's above their head. You miss your first shot, or whatever the case may be. That's, again, not okay. A lot of this is just not okay. If there should be consistency from hip fire to ADS. At this point, we're literally having to aim at the neck from the hip, and then when we ADS, when we shoulder our gun, then our crosshair is on their head. And I don't think that's something that we should have to correct, like, at all. So
no, your dot should. I mean, that's just the way it works.
It needs to be fixed.
What was the next one? Sorry,
bags.
I'm checking. Doug is Raw. Doug is Raw has been a suggestion for the host at the end of this. Does Doug is Raw have a good follow alert? That's the question. But let's go into the next topic. I want to see somebody with a good
Loot
alert.
bags falling into rocks. Or
Okay,
falling
yeah.
objects.
It's like if Crunchball kills me and I'm on a rock, my loot bag's in the rock. It's gone. Like, you can't touch it. The rock is a solid object.
Sometimes it'll just go into the ground. Have you ever seen that? And you come by and you can see like the little
It's
tip
just
of the
terrain.
bag like hanging out of the terrain, and you can't click on it. It's cool.
That's silly because it can get you killed. Like, if you need that loot, it's bad.
I've just sat there and died. Like, I needed the bullets. I had like 15 bullets left. Won a fight. The guy had 400 rounds. Like, had everything in the world on him, and I just sat there with tab and just stared at it and waited for somebody to come by and kill me. It's just like, I'm done. I'm over this.
Move
Yeah.
bug. I
Getting
think it might have
stuck
been
in your
fixed.
inventory?
No, just
No.
moving an object and
If
it
you
disappearing
right click
forever.
and press move, it just fucking.
It's
It
gone.
just
Oh yeah,
deletes
no,
the universe.
it's not fixed. I accidentally right-clicked on vase the other day, and it deleted the vase, and I had just thrown out my shoes like previously, and I had to go back and get my my Zeds, and it felt terrible. Yeah, no, that's not fixed. That's still there.
No, yeah.
So that needs to. Why are any?
Why is there
Why
an
is
option?
move
Why is
even there?
Yeah, why is that an option? Is what I want to know.
Why is move there?
Yeah, it's bugged.
What's the point of it?
Take it out. Get rid of it. Move is a unneeded. I don't know of any situation where I actually need it. I actually deleted them on accident by trying to do a right click, and I missed on a misclick, and it deleted them. So move is there for one thing and one thing only, and that is to delete items that I want. That is the only thing it does. It does nothing else.
It should say right click and it should be highlighted "piss me off, fam," and you click it.
Yeah.
And you're pissed.
Yeah.
The last thing.
It just got like a little angry emoji there, just pissed. Fuck.
The last thing I wrote on my phone that I forgot to put in the post is everyone can relay here. There's a chain link fence. There's a homie on the other side of the fence. You're shooting him.
Oh,
Your
God.
bullets are hitting the fence, and his bullets are going through the fence and hitting you. Not okay. Not okay.
I mean,
Your
that's
team-
fine.
been the thing
That
for a while.
sounds balanced. That sounds
That's
sounds
so
great.
long, dude.
Yeah, it should be fixed entirely. It's
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the Reddit post I wrote for 2 hours and almost got no, like it had no sunlight on it until today.
Well,
So,
I'm glad we got
appreciate
to at least cover to give us something to cover. It covered a lot of topics that we have covered, but there was some things in there that were mentioned on a lot of these topics that we hadn't actually taken it that far. That conversation that far. So, and I think anytime that we can take the conversation farther and break it down more is something that's good to give to Daybreak, because it's like, dude, we've already sat here with like an entire community in chat coming up with ideas. We've sat here and we've talked about it for an hour, where we don't know how long you talked about each one of these topics, but we're like actively working on them for you. Check it out. Just take what we say. Just do it. Just do it. Do what we said because we said it. So yeah, I think that we covered a good amount today. I actually ended up going a little bit shorter than I thought. That went just about an hour, just about 10 minutes over. So that went
That'll
be a
well.
longer.
But we're gonna host somebody, and then we are going to run I'm gonna run a couple rounds of twos on the scrims. There's some people that want them, some people that don't. We're gonna run it for the people that want to show up. If you want, it's just a for fun thing. This isn't gonna be a regular thing. I'm just doing it today. So we're gonna run twos. Check the poll. Somebody link me the poll. Okay, stop. No, bot keeps moving. 41%. I'm sorry, the rules state that you must win by 20% to get mod, and you actually lost. Hell yeah, I love Crunch. Lost by 2% to Who is Crunch. Who are you? So I'm sorry, Crunch, you've lost.
Feels bad.
So let's find somebody to host. Doug is Raw. I've never actually seen Doug is Raw. I've heard he's pretty
Oh,
good
that
though.
sucks. Yeah.
He just got signed.
Oh, man,
He's somewhat new. Like he's somewhat new to.
Hold on, I'm gonna hit follow here, and I want to see what this alert looks like.
I know they had a try. All right, grab the tape.
Terrible.
All right, let's go. Told you to close the door for.
I'll see what this follow alert looks like.
Like me and Crunch have a date tonight.
Solid.
Yeah.
Hello, alert.
What if he has no alert, dude?
No alert. We're going somewhere.
Oh, no, he has alert.
Yoshi.
It's a
behind us?
what's his name?
Yo, Supersonic dude, thank you so much for the welcome yesterday and welcome to the
damn
stream
it.
today. Thank you so much. Welcome to joining the squad. That's what I like to see.
Before
up,
we head out,
Supersonic?
I do want to
Alright,
thank you guys
let's see.
for letting me co-host with y'all.
Yeah, for sure,
Oh,
man.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Like a
fun,
ton.
man.
Yeah, this is
Love having you on, man.
good. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Again, we are now on a before we do the host, we are on a 2-week schedule now instead of a 1 week. Just because there's not enough that happens in a single week for us to cover it all, it ends up being short shows, or we just end up like dragging something on for no reason other than to drag it on and fill time. So we're gonna go to a 2 week. So we'll be back again on Monday, 2 weeks from today. So we'll see you guys then. Again, thanks guys for being here. Love you both.
Definitely.
And thank you everybody for coming out today. Really good turnout. Really enjoyed having you all here. We're gonna go ahead and host Doug is Raw, just because I've never hosted him. And I'm gonna hang out and watch him a little bit while I run the 2 scrims. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Later.
All right, love you guys.
See ya.
Go through.
Yeah, we're done. It's out.
Cool.